Hey, I'm Jim. Thanks for joining me for this edition of Parent Lab. We believe the best parents are those who are always learning, and we want to partner with you to help you become the best parent that you can be. This series is entitled 5 Essential Conversations for Raising Successful Kids. Did you know that Murray Bowen, the father of family systems theory, identified a foundational truth about human relationships? In every relationship, there is a dance between two needs, the need for togetherness and the need for separateness. Now, in parenting, we observe this dynamic in all phases of childhood. In one moment, our preschooler wants to snuggle with their family, and in the next, they're literally demanding to be their own person. We've seen our tweener beg to join his or her friends at a birthday party sleepover, but then feign a stomachache and call us to come pick him or her up before midnight. We've watched our high school seniors talk about going to the college of their dreams out of state, but then they choose to stay close to home and go to a local junior college for their freshman year. The yin and the yang of togetherness and separateness is in each of us. So how can we balance our innate needs for both closeness and distance in our family relationships? Let's hone in today on our next 5 essential conversations for raising successful kids. The connection gauge. The connection gauge helps us understand the need for the balance between closeness and distance. It helps us track these two elements in a way that is essential to maintain emotional connection with our kids, and it's also closely linked with the heading gauge. If influence is the key to our ongoing ability to guide our children as they grow into adulthood, then the quality of our relationship with them is crucial. Getting this balance of closeness and distance right sets the tone for their relationship with us long after they leave home. So what is the right balance? Here's one way to say it. You want to be close enough to your children to influence them, but distant enough to lead them. One of the temptations that we as parents face is to live our lives vicariously through our children. The reason so many of us fall victim is our child is meeting some unmet emotional need in our lives. When this does happen, it can lead us to become so enmeshed with our child that we lose track of where our life ends and our child's life begins. When we do get too close, it eventually rubs uncomfortably against our child's need for separateness, and it diminishes their desire for connection with us. Family therapist Ed Friedman highlights why it's important for a parent not to get too close to a child from the child's perspective. The children in a family who grow up to be the most responsible and productive as adults are the ones whose parents made them less important to their own growth and well-being. On the other hand, we can become so distant from our children that we lose any emotional connection at all. This happens when our careers cause us to be absent for long periods of time physically, or when we are with them, we are absent emotionally. To the degree that we lose our emotional connection with our kids, we lose our ability to influence them. In either case, whether we are too close or too distant, we hinder our emotional connection with our children, and our ability to influence them in positive, productive directions diminishes. So, if you want to increase your influence with your kids both now and for years to come, maintaining a strong relational connection is absolutely essential. And having ongoing conversations about the nature and quality of your emotional connections with your kids is the place to start. Here are some questions to help you mind the balance between closeness and distance with each of your kids. Here's the first question. On a scale from 0 to 10, with 0 representing distance and 10 representing closeness, what value would you assign to your emotional connection with each of your children? Now, each parent should answer this individually. Second, for every emotional connection that you feel is too distant, can you identify what is keeping you from having the connection that you would desire? With that in mind, what are some new predictable patterns of connecting you could establish with your child? Third, for every emotional connection that you feel is too close, can you identify what emotional need that you might be trying to meet by being too close to one of your kids? What choices or changes in behavior can you make that would help you meet the unmet need that you're depending on your child? Again, remember, this is meant to be more than a one-time conversation. The connection gauge needs constant monitoring. And if you do it faithfully, you will give your kids the best possible chance to live the satisfying and meaningful life you hope for them to have. Now, if this series has been helpful, please like it and click subscribe below to access more helpful resources. And stay tuned for our next episode in which we explore the mindset gauge, helping you move your kids from a fixed to a growth mindset. See you next time.